People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of the skin. Run, but you sure can't hide. Well, nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggravation, humiliation, obligation to our nation.
Good morning and welcome to Detroit Wants to Know. We're coming to you from the fabulous Cafe de Mongo's on Griswold in downtown Detroit, owned by my very good friend Larry Mongo. My friends, there's been much consternation, much concern about what the curfew is going to be for River Days and for fireworks night itself, what's going to be closed, what's going to be open. Well, look, at the time of taping this show, City Council moved back their hearing to the day after we're taping this show, so we don't exactly know what's going to go on during River Days, but we do know, we have the source to tell you what's going on fireworks night. I have Sergeant Lewis with me from the Detroit Police Department. Sergeant Lewis,
hi.
Thank you for gracing us this morning.
You're
And
welcome.
might I say, I would break more laws if I knew you were going to arrest me. Sergeant Lewis, tell us what's happening on Fireworks Day.
Well, on Fireworks Day, what we really want to do is we want to make sure that it is a family event and that families come out and they're able to enjoy the event. However, we do have some safety concerns and some things that we have to make sure that are done. And so we are going to have several street closures in the downtown Central District area, as well as a curfew that's going to be in place. With that being said, we still want people to just come out, enjoy themselves, have a great time. The street closures are going to be similar to the same street closures that we use for opening day. Woodward is definitely shut down to one lane because of the N1 rail construction, and so we want people to keep that in mind. Also, there are some areas that used to be used for parking that are no longer available due to some of the businesses that are building in the area. So we want people to keep that in mind. All of that information, though, it has been put on our DPD Connect app. We are also going to be having updated information on our Facebook page, and so we're trying to make the information as accessible as possible so that everybody is as much informed as they can. The actual street plan is going to take effect starting at 6 p.m.
Starting at 6 p.m. Fireworks Day.
Yes.
Okay, and still no coolers and all that on Hart Plaza?
Correct. No coolers. No tents. You know, we want to make sure that the people who are there to view it are able to see and enjoy themselves. So we don't want anything out that's going to hinder that.
And as always, DPD is going to be fair. White, black, Puerto Rican. If you're acting a fool, you're going to jail.
You're going to jail, but we want everybody to come out, enjoy this. Last year was a great success, and our goal is to repeat the success that we had last year.
All right, give me that web address for the Detroit Police Department.
It's our DPD Connect app, and you can download the app on the Play Store and also on the App Store.
iTunes Store.
iTunes.
So
yes,
Google
correct.
Play and the iTunes Store,
Yes.
you can get the app.
Yes.
All right, and is there a central DPD website where it'll be also, or no?
We're still kind of figuring out how we want to put all that information out, but as soon as we get that information, you'll have the information.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Officer Lewis, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You heard it from Officer Lewis. Come on downtown. You also heard in the papers about black kids running wild and all this because of their poor upbringing. When we come back, I have my good friend Roy Roberts. Yeah, he's a good friend. He's the former DPS emergency manager. Roy Roberts is going to talk about his upbringing. My friends, you would never believe a man that dresses like that used to steal Spam to mix with his government cheese so it tasted well. His family was that poor. When we come back, it's Roy Roberts. It's a different Roy Roberts, retired and ready to rock and roll. We'll be right back with Detroit Wants to Know.
When you're ready to sell your home, the prudent choice is I Am Real Estate. Aggressive marketing and attention to detail will make your home selling experience rapid and fulfilling. List your home today by calling I Am Real Estate at 248-539-1200.
Parkway Foods is your fresh food destination in Detroit at East Jefferson and St. Jean. With a wide variety of meats, chicken, fish, and other healthy choices, Parkway is your fresh food destination. Conveniently located at 11250 East Jefferson in Detroit, Parkway Foods is your answer. Whether you are picking up some quick items or shopping for the family, always fresh and always priced right. Visit Parkway Foods on East Jefferson and St. Jean for all of your shopping needs, and check out our fabulous recipes at parkwayfoodsdetroit.com.
Here at Quicken Loans, we take special pride in servicing clients that serve our country.
My name is Marjorie Reyes. I'm a Chief Warrant Officer. I am very grateful and appreciative that Quicken Loans can offer service members VA loans. It was very important for me to be able to close and refinance my home quickly. I wanted to lower my mortgage payment. Quicken Loans guided me through every step of the process. The whole experience was amazing.
Serving those who serve us all. One more way, Quicken Loans is engineered to amaze.
When you're ready to sell your home, the prudent choice is I Am Real Estate. Aggressive marketing and attention to detail will make your home selling experience rapid and fulfilling. List your home today by calling I Am Real Estate at 248-539-1200.
Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. Now you know about the fireworks plan. My friends, I want to introduce you once again to my friend Roy Roberts. He's retired. He's written a book. And there's several things in this book that if he had told us when he became EM, a lot of us wouldn't have been upset. We've been cheering him. We would have had our hands on his back and following him implicitly. Roy Roberts, thanks for coming on Detroit Wants to Know. Man, this book, My American Success Story, Always First, Never the Last, was amazing. Dude, the one mistake you made as the DPS emergency manager is that you never, ever told anybody widely that you stole Spam so you could eat it with government cheese because that's all your parents got.
Well, you know, we all learned how to survive, and we were very poor. My father never owned a home, never owned a car. So I've seen the depths of poverty and deprivation, but I've seen a lot of love. And I had a father that knew that education was a key and pushed me to be successful.
You should have told us. The other thing you should have told us, when you were dealing with the kids, when you're dealing with kids from broken homes, when you're dealing with kids who were born to parents too young, you should have told us that you and your wife actually had a child out of wedlock, then you got married and moved into your wife's father's house to raise the child.
I did. They were wonderful. In-laws were just absolutely terrific and wonderful. And after a while, I was working and I could afford to move. We bought a home before I was old enough to buy a home. And that was a real shock to people. And in Grand Rapids, it was in such a nice neighborhood, what you might call a white neighborhood, that there was a steady stream of people riding by to have a look at it. So I assumed a lot of responsibility at an early stage. I never shrieked at it, and I tried to do the right thing for my family.
You also talk about being on people's shoulders, that you didn't do it all by Roy Roberts himself. You had Reverend Leon Sullivan that helped you when you left Lear Siegler go into GM. Tell us about that.
Reverend Leon Sullivan, I was invited, he was head of OIC, Opportunities Industrialization Center, and the president of Diesel Equipment Division of General Motors invited me to come over and introduce him when he was coming to town for a speaking engagement. I had the biggest corporate job in town at the time, even though I worked for another company, Lear Siegler. So I said yes, I did it. I didn't know Reverend Sullivan. Spent an incredible night with him and the general manager of Diesel Equipment Division. Unknowns to me, Reverend Sullivan went back to General Motors and talked to the chairman and says, I met a guy. If you don't hire him to come into General Motors, you're not serious about wanting to integrate this company. The chairman told me that 7 years later, after they had hired me into General Motors and I had made several progressive moves inside the corporation. So Reverend Sullivan was an incredible human being, and not just because he got me a job. He wrote the Sullivan Plans, and he did a lot of great work globally for a lot of people.
Tell me the Rolex story, where your boss called you out of your name, you held your Rolex up. You said, this is a Rolex, this is an Aquamarine. If you hear it tick, Roy Roberts, that's when you speak. Tell me the Rolex story, man. That's crazy.
Well, you know, I've used it more than once. Rolex is an expensive watch. Everybody know that. So I said to him, you know what this is? He says, it's a watch. I said, it's a Rolex. It's a very expensive watch. Can you hear it tick? He said, no. I said, when you hear it tick, you talk. Until then, I'm talking. And quite honestly, I cut him a new rear end because he had been ultra abusive. When I returned from Harvard, where he and the top management at General Motors sent me to Harvard, he just really pitched a wiki thing in front of all the staff to prove that he was still the boss. And I wasn't going to take that from him or anyone else. And I told my wife, when I come home tonight, I might not have a job, but don't worry. I've always taken care of you, and I'll take care of you in the future.
You were sent to Terrytown, a plant that was basically about to close. You turned it around. You forged community partnerships. You forged a partnership with the governor. You got the governor to put in a new rail line. Tell us about the Terrytown experience and the GM minivan.
It was an incredible experience because if you're raised in the automobile industry and you're on the component side of the industry, you don't get on the car assembly side. That's kind of sacrosanct. There's nothing written in stone about that, but that's the way it's run. So me and a few other people, Rod Gillum included, really talked some people into possibly letting me go over and run the Terrytown plant. Thought that would be a great entree for me if I was going to move up in the corporation to be successful at that. What I really didn't know when I went to Terrytown, New York, not only was the plant in bad shape, there was a plan to close the plant. And me and the president of the union, Ray Calora, the oldest reigning president in the UAW, said we're not going to let it happen. And we worked diligently to turn that around. I had them negotiate a contract that was the most competitive or would match the most competitive in General Motors. And the day they reached a tentative agreement, they called me. I went up to have a look at it, and they wanted to show me all the pages, a stack of transparencies about 9 inches tall. I said, well, did we achieve the goal and objective that we set out for ourselves, both sides? They said, yes, we did. I said, show me the signature page. They handed me the signature page. I signed it. I didn't read one page of that contract. And the reason I did, because I knew there wasn't anything I could change in that contract that would be more valuable and more important than the relationship that two parties had developed in negotiating that agreement.
You teach us a lot of lessons in this book, but one of the lessons it's not in your little Roy Roberts rules is you taught another lesson in there. When you were heading towards being the head of HR at GM, you were in a situation where you had to recognize that you weren't one of the boys, so you had a fabulous dinner for the people that would eventually put you on the board, and you let them get drunk while you just played with your glass. That's an incredible rule, because it sounded like you were the only one sober at the end of the night.
Well, maybe one other person, Rod Gillum, I'm sure was sober, but there was some over-imbibing, there's no question. And the lead guy, the guy that was going to hire me, there was no question. He was red and everything else. And I told him, guys, I got to go home. And this guy was powerful, and the rest of the people with me wanted to keep him around so we could try and pick his brain on what's going on, and also try and impress him. When I went home, and the next morning I went by the hotel to pick them up, and they looked like death warmed over. We go to the plant, and we had a quality conference where you call all the departments together, and we're up on stage talking about quality. And he, the guy that was going to promote me, was blown away at how I was received and respected in that plant. And he said to me, what would you do if we wanted you to head up HR? I said, I try to understand our strategic intent and where we're going, and I try to make sure we had an HR policy and plan that matched it. And I honestly thought he was talking about taking over a region of General Motors, and he was really talking about taking over the corporation, and we did just that. Fast
forward, you became the DPSEM. That's what your latest thing that you were known for here in Detroit. It's obvious from the book, finally somebody says that you were a designated N-word, but they didn't know what you had done at Terrytown. They didn't know that. On that side, the government, the Governor Snyder's people didn't know that. We, the people of Detroit, didn't know you stole Spam to go with your government cheese when you were growing up. 2 mistakes were made. Mistake number 1 is not letting them know that you actually could turn something around as huge as Terrytown. Snyder probably knew. Mistake number 2, which is a much bigger mistake, if the people of Detroit had known how you started, that it wasn't just Roy Roberts you see today, it would have been much easier. Do you have any regrets on that, of not telling us that?
Well, not really. I got to tell you, there was a group. I had the ministers in Detroit and their wives at my home in Bloomfield Hills, 71 of them, for a reception. And I told them the story of Roy Roberts and my background, and they could not believe it. They were blown away. So you're right. Your assessment of that is a proper one, but I couldn't tell the larger community about that. And that wasn't what it was about. It was about the kids. It was about the kids. You got to do the right thing for the kids. And the reason I know that, I know firsthand, I was one of those snotty-nosed little kids who once upon a time was very poor, very poor, and had love, but was very poor. And education didn't just pull me up; it took me to the top, and I'm so proud of that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you actually came with us today. Where can people buy My American Success Story?
African American Museum, and also online. It's online. People can pick it up there, and I'm really proud of this because it truly is my life. A lot has been written about me. That's what they wrote, and that's what they thought. This is my story for my kids and my grandkids.
And you reached back with this book. You had Elizabeth Atkins write the book with you, and I read all her little steamy novels, amazingly hot novels coming from Elizabeth. This is a total departure. I never had an idea, any idea that she had it in her. This is by far her best work ever.
She's a brilliant, brilliant writer. She's a classy, classy lady with a great imagination, and I think that's what drove those. I just couldn't be happier with her and the people that work with me on this project. It's really well done.
Roy Roberts, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck in retirement.
Yeah. Okay.
And remember, wait for that text message and look out the window.
Okay,
It'll
great.
make your day.
Look forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with my good friend Sherman Eaton. It's 30 years that the Native Detroiter magazine has been published. We'll be right back.
When you're having a heart attack, this is how it feels to your heart. And if it happens at night or on the weekend, there's only one hospital team standing by on site to save you. Cardio Team 1, only at the DMC.
Detroit Wants to Know is sponsored by the AFPD, the voice of independent retailers.
Hello, I'm Dr. Shauna Diggs, and welcome to Cosmetic Dermatology.
As Michigan's leader in comprehensive skin health and rejuvenation, board-certified dermatologist Dr. Shauna Ryder Diggs and the entire Cosmetic Dermatology team take a caring, customized approach to skin care. The Cosmetic Derm team effectively treats skin diseases and autoimmune diseases such as lupus. State-of-the-art laser technology is utilized in hair removal, tattoo removal, and skin peels. To learn more, visit our website, Cosmetic Dermatology, where science and beauty meet.
Mike's Fresh Market, Detroit's largest independent supermarket with the best prices, quality, and service. Enjoy our vast selection of fresh fruits and vegetables. Wide aisles lead you to our own in-house bakery and deli. Beef, pork, chicken, seafood, and much more. You can rest assured you will feed your family the freshest food in town. Whatever you need, you can find it here at Mike's Fresh Market. Mike's Fresh Market with 2 locations, Gratiot and 7 Mile and Livernois and 7 Mile. Better food, better prices. That's Mike's promise.
Groundbreaking, life-saving, history-making. The new DMC Heart Hospital, summer 2014. The beat goes on.
Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. This week we're coming to you from Cafe de Mongo on Griswold Street in the new downtown Detroit. My guest this segment is Sherman Eaton. Sherman Eaton, 30 years ago, started the Native Detroiter magazine. Many of you have seen it in barbershops and beauty shops, sitting around in bars. But Sherm created this thing. Sherman, I say to you today, there's nothing more important than being a Native Detroiter.
And I absolutely agree with you, and thanks for inviting me. I enjoy your show immensely.
Sherman, you created this magazine, so long ago. How have you seen Detroit change?
Detroit has changed in every aspect of life. Our schools have changed, our businesses have changed, our labor market has changed, our politics has changed. Every aspect of Detroit that is here today that was here 30 years ago has absolutely changed. Probably the most notable change would be the exodus of over 500,000 people to the suburbs and the problems and conditions and changes that that brought. When 500,000 people decided to leave Detroit, we took a huge hit in our tax revenue. We took a hit in our neighborhoods with vacant houses. We took a hit in crime. We took hits in almost every area, even education. So the changes have been immense and they've been steady.
They've been immense and they've been steady, but what about the native Detroiters? Is it done for us?
Of course not. Because in a free society, everybody has an opportunity to play. If you can't play with one team, you have to play with another. But as long as you have capital, as long as you have good ideals, you can always play, but you cannot always play in everybody's game. Sometimes you have to create your own shot.
Sherman, when I was preparing for this show today, I was talking to my neighbor outside my house. I saw a Caucasian woman run by my house in a sports bra, jogging, chilling, feeling perfectly at home. And I said, you know, I got to talk to Sherman today. Sherman, are we being displaced?
We're not being displaced. We're just having a new addition to our family. I look at newcomers with welcome arms. This city cannot survive without new people. They cannot survive without people who care and love and feel safe in this city. I love to see people riding their bicycles. I love to see people pushing their children in strollers. I love all of that. Of course, we're not being displaced. We're just having a new addition to our family, and I think it's a welcome addition, and I think it's something that I look forward to.
Okay. Where can we find the fabulous native Detroiter these days?
The native Detroiter is everywhere. Every barbershop, every bar, every doctor's office. I cover every square foot of this city. I get my truck and I stop it everywhere. I jump out and I drop off books and I get back in that truck and I keep going. So everywhere that you look, I hope that I've already been there.
Well, in the last episode, I want to thank you. In the last edition, you put me down as one of the top 100 single men. Dude, thanks a lot, buddy. I love it when you do that stuff. Sherm, I want to thank you for coming by. If somebody wants to contribute to the Native Detroiter, where can they call?
They just give me a call at 313-822-1958.
Okay, when the fall comes around, I want to talk about that Michigan State
okay.
Game. All right,
Hey.
It won't be the same without our main man, Dwight.
No, it won't be, but it will be there.
All right.
Thank
Talk
you.
to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back, and I'm going to show you access to capital from the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. You won't believe this. Sherman says you got to have capital. They can show you how to get capital. We'll be right back.
Parkway Foods is your fresh food destination in Detroit at East Jefferson and St. Jean. With a wide variety of meats, chicken, fish, and other healthy choices, Parkway is your fresh food destination. Conveniently located at 11250 East Jefferson in Detroit, Parkway Foods is your answer. Whether you are picking up some quick items or shopping for the family, always fresh and always priced right. Visit Parkway Foods on East Jefferson and St. Jean for all of your shopping needs, and check out our fabulous recipes at parkwayfoodsdetroit.com.
Detroit Wants to Know is sponsored by the AFPD, the voice of independent retailers.
Here at Quicken Loans, we take special pride in servicing clients that serve our country.
My name is Marjorie Reyes. I'm a Chief Warrant Officer. I am very grateful and appreciative that Quicken Loans can offer service members VA loans. It was very important for me to be able to close and refinance my home quickly. I wanted to lower my mortgage payment. Quicken Loans guided me through every step of the process. The whole experience was amazing.
Serving those who serve us all. One more way, Quicken Loans is engineered to amaze.
Mike's Fresh Market, Detroit's largest independent supermarket with the best prices, quality, and service. Enjoy our vast selection of fresh fruits and vegetables. Wide aisles lead you to our own in-house bakery and deli. Beef, pork, chicken, seafood, and much more. You can rest assured you will feed your family the freshest food in town. Whatever you need, you can find it here at Mike's Fresh Market. Mike's Fresh Market with 2 locations, Gratiot and 7 Mile and Livernois and 7 Mile. Better food, better prices. That's Mike's promise.
Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. This week we've been coming to you from the fabulous Cafe de Mango's, owned by my good friend Larry Mongo on Griswold Street. We're going to wrap it up this week with James Fagan from the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. He's their outreach manager, and he's heading up Any Ideas. Mr. Fagan, you were here a year ago.
Yes, sir.
Giving away money. How'd that go?
It went great, thanks to partners like you, Steve. Last year, we had over $500,000 we awarded to 36 Detroit-based businesses, and we're back doing it again this year.
Really?
Yes.
Now, tell me some of the things they use that money for.
Sure, so you can actually review all the stories of our past winners on the website. It was everything from a coffee shop that wanted a grinder to a barber shop that wanted to add a clipper sharpening services. You had people who bought point of sale systems, beefed up their social media and marketing communications, a range of ideas from a lot of different small businesses in the city.
Okay, now you're asking, you're going out and selling people, you can give them $100,000?
Yes.
What is this about? How many $100,000 grants are you going to give out?
So the Any Ideas Challenge is 2 challenges. The 10K challenge, which is closed for this year, but we got 2 weeks left in the 100K challenge. That's 2 businesses that gross above $750,000 but below $5 million, and they can get $100,000 to grow big.
Really?
Yes.
Now, how does somebody apply for that?
It's this simple. This application here, you can fill it out online or in person. It's 400 words, and you submit your idea. You tell us, describe your business in 50 words, tell us how to use the money, and then tell us how it helped you grow your business, and then how that helped you impact your community.
Now, this is for businesses in Detroit only?
Detroit, Hamtramck, and Highland Park.
Really, Highland Park?
Yes. Highland Park showed up real well last year. They actually took home almost a quarter of the $500,000.
Wait a minute. So what'd you give to Highland Park?
They had a $100,000 winner with Sherwood Prototype, great firm, and their idea to grow was they had firms who would come and want to do prototyping work with them, but they didn't have the capacity to produce at the units that they wanted. So they wanted to expand their ability to first do some more high technique welding, and then be able to produce more units a month so they could take some of that business from start to finish.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're helping to save Highland Park. Now, one other question. You go on the web, you can get this where? One more time.
AnyIdeasDetroit.org. That's AnyIdeasDetroit.org.
AnyIdeasDetroit.org.
Yes.
Okay. You know, Mayor Duggan came on the show, and he talked about this crazy thing called Motor City Match. Will you promise to me that you will come back and explain that thing to me?
I definitely will. It's a great time for entrepreneurship in Detroit. Between the New Economy Initiative, our partners, and a lot of the different public, private, and government institutions, there's a lot of support and opportunity for entrepreneurs. So whatever stage you're at, whatever business you're in, there's opportunities for you, and we'll be here to help with the DGC.
And so you help entrepreneurs as well. That means we're on our knees trying to grow.
We help folks who just say, you know what, I just came home, I've been away for a while, and I think I need to start a business. And so you got a group like Prosperous that'll help you get your business plan together, get you off and running. You got great groups like the Build Institute and Tech Town and SWAT City. And then for the folks that are off and running, we've got our DDD program, which helps with procurement initiatives, as well as Goldman Sachs, SBA programs for businesses of all shapes and sizes and revenues.
James Fagan, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a whirlwind week. We heard from Roy Roberts about stealing Spam to eat with his government cheese and taking on situations that he was not supposed to survive in. We heard from Sherman Eaton, the publisher of the Native Detroiter magazine, about the changes in Detroit. And then we heard from James Fagan, who's talked about entrepreneurial opportunity. There is money out there. Detroit, Hamtramck, Highland Park, Any Ideas have it. Pick up the book, go to their website, don't complain, get paid. You all have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
As long as I can take a pork chop home to my family and put on the table, and the rest of my colleagues can take a pork chop home and put on their family table, then it makes us feel good that we can sleep at night knowing that we have done something.